How I Gained More Muscle by Following the Right Advice. Written, directed, narrated, and produced by M.A. Green's MuscleBuildingShop.com. After studying the training advice of the internet's hottest fitness guru, I broke the mountain of facts, tips, and strategies down into just a small handful of things I could try quickly and easily to prove to myself whether or not the fundamentals of this guy's system would really work for me. While there are lots of specific details I haven't tried yet and strategies I haven't yet implemented, I focused on the few core principles that seemed to speak the loudest to me, that stood out and grabbed my interest. I felt that I was working out an awful lot without seeing any major gains, and this guy was promising that I could see more progress more quickly by training less. He insisted that I could spend less time exercising and get better results. Well, this was not what I had been taught by the huge guys who had coached me in the past. Most of my coaching came from the big guys who worked out in the gyms I went to. I never worked out as long and as hard as they did. I was never interested in consuming as many supplements as they were. And I wasn't interested in getting as big as they were. So everything seemed as it should. I was working out less than they were and staying smaller. This is just what I wanted on both counts. Lots of hardcore bodybuilders train with an attitude that more is better, and you can't really overwork your muscles. The muscles will become too exhausted for you to continue to push them before you reach a point where you are able to break down more muscle than you're able to rebuild in the next day or two. I'm talking about huge guys who work out for 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 hours at a crack. Then this professional fitness trainer comes along and tells me I'm probably overtraining. What? If I was overtraining, I'd be bigger than I wanted to be, and I would have to cut back on my exercise to return to a level of muscle bulk I was comfortable with. Right? Not according to Mr. Fitness. He was saying that overtraining is very common for lots of athletes, and particularly for bodybuilders or those who train with weights. He said we typically take the stance that training as much as possible is the fastest way to muscle gains. Did he mean it's not? Yeah, he did. He claimed we have to create the proper balance between the amount and the intensity of exercise we do, with the amount of rest we get, and the time we give our muscles to recover. Well, the gym guys all knew not to work out the same muscle group 2 days in a row. What else was there to worry about? He listed some typical symptoms of overtraining, and I didn't have any of them, so apparently this did not apply to me. Then he mentioned one symptom of overtraining that I did have. He said if I'm not making strength gains every workout, that I'm not fully recovering from my last workout before doing the next one. Well, I only added weight to my exercises when the weight I was lifting felt too light or I was able to do more than 10 reps easily. This was fine, but I tended to go up and down. Sometimes I felt better using more weight and sometimes less. I was not making steady progress. From what this guy is teaching, the goal is to improve, to get stronger every single workout. If this isn't happening, then it means you have to decrease the amount of weight you're using. Oh, really? I thought using the most weight I possibly could was the key. Lots of times I would start working out and realize I didn't have a lot of strength this particular day, so I'd just go through my typical routine using less weight. According to Mr. Fitness, this was a big mistake. His theory was that the reason I felt weak was precisely because my muscles hadn't fully recovered from my last workout yet. And by continuing to train at a lower intensity, I was further breaking down already overtaxed muscles, making it harder for my body to fully recover and increasing my risk of injury. What's the solution? Go home and rest. Skip the workout entirely. I started testing his theory by adopting this approach, and then I started reducing my workouts to a maximum of 1 hour and cut the number of sets I did for each muscle group in half. At this point, I'm exercising about half as much as I used to. I hardly ever get cramps anymore, and I've gained muscle mass rather than having lost any. I don't actually add weight every single time I work out, but I am adding weight more often. Plus, I have stopped dropping down to lower weights so frequently because my body hasn't fully recovered yet. So, who is Mr. Fitness, as I call him? Go to www.musclebuildingshop.com and get the full story, plus a couple of free bonuses. Thanks for playing.